Hi, welcome to Coal-Fed Families. I'm Randy Walters, and our guest on this broadcast is Roger Ford. Roger is a Republican candidate for state representative in the 94th District over in Pike County. His opponent is the Democrat Leslie Combs, and they are running a pretty good race over there right now with everything that is going on in the federal government, looking at the coal industry and the lack of action by state government to help the coal industry. Leslie doesn't seem to have too much to stand on when it comes down to the coal people, but then again, in eastern Kentucky, everybody that runs says, oh yeah, I'm for coal, even though they don't act like that when they get to Frankfort. We're going to talk about some of those things on this program. Roger, welcome to the program.
Randy, appreciate the opportunity to be here.
All right, good deal. We're glad to have you. We want to talk some of the things about what went on in Frankfort that Leslie Combs was not a part of, that she should have been a part of. And that was HCR 10, as was filed by Republican Stan Lee. HCR 10, House Concurrent Resolution, it's just a resolution. It was no bill that cost anybody any money. It would have, however, if passed, if allowed to even be on the floor of the House, it would have passed, given a boost, a shot in the arm, if you will, to the state Senate of Kentucky to file a lawsuit against the EPA based on the United States 10th Amendment of our Constitution, and say, no, we did not give you regulatory power, and therefore you can't come into Kentucky and shut down our main business. But as it turned out, the Democrats, following together as a party, decided not to let that get onto the House floor. It didn't make it, and the lawsuit wasn't filed. Now, Roger, there were two of our mountain representatives that, Democrats,
yes,
that went to Frankfort and signed on as co-sponsors. One was our very own Fitz Steele here in Perry County, and who was the other?
The other's Pike County State Representative W. Keith Hall, who is the 93rd District State Representative.
All right, and he went against the party.
He went against the party, and along with Fitz Steele, who also represents part of Harlan County, in the other part that I'm not running in, and they bucked the leadership, and they're independent, and they're good Democrats, and they sponsored the bill.
They did, because it was of benefit to our people, the coal-fed families of eastern Kentucky. When I told Fitz Steele what was going on with that bill, he said, I'll be right down there and put my name on it, and he was. Others like Hubie Collins and Ansel Smith and Rick Nelson down in Bell County, they were nowhere to be found on this thing for the coal people. They were nowhere to be found. And the bill, like I said, consequently did not make it to the House floor, and it was done. Leslie Combs was among those that was not to be heard from at that time, and it was, if she says she's for coal, then she needs to answer why she did not go in and try to get HCR 10 put on the House floor so that it could be voted on by the House and the Senate. There are other issues with Leslie that coal-fed families cannot go along with. One is abortion.
Absolutely.
Tell us about that.
I'm supported by the Kentucky Right to Life Association and Take Back Kentucky, and one of the reasons I'm supported by those organizations is because I'm 100% pro-life, and my opponent is not. There was the opportunity to sign a discharge petition in the last session of the General Assembly, Senate Bill 38. It was brought to the House Judiciary Committee and had the opportunity to be brought out for a vote. And again, she says one thing at home, goes to Frankfort and does something else. Just like with coal, on the issue of abortion, she's not there. She's not representing the majority and the values of the people of her district, and I will.
All right. These these no-shows that the politicians can do are things that rarely make the news. You don't find out who has just, let something go until somebody does some research on it and finds it out and then lets it out. And when they do that, typically what you get is a denial from the party. The person doesn't make any difference which party it is. If they've not done something they should, then That's just the way it is. They didn't do it. What about on the issue of gambling?
On gambling, she voted for the governor's bill on casino gambling. And again, unlike our other representative over there, Keith Hall, who voted against it. And I can tell you, I will not vote to impose casino gambling on the people of my district without them having a say on that. And Leslie, I guess, thinks that she knows better than the people of her district, and she wants to deny them their voice on that issue.
The casino gambling thing, we saw that coming on the part of Steve Beshear and Daniel Mangiardo when they put hundreds of thousands of dollars into the campaign to try to help Scott Alexander beat Brandon Smith. And we saw the voice of the people stand up against all that money, and there was hundreds of thousands of dollars and a lot of arm twisting that went on. And the people of this district said, no, we don't want that. But Leslie Combs and people like Greg Stumbo, they did want that. They wanted to impose yet another potential addiction on the people of Kentucky with casino gambling. And whether you like casino gambling or not, it's a matter of fact there would have been a tremendous social cost to legalizing casino gambling in the state of Kentucky as they had proposed to do it.
I agree with that. The drug addiction that all of our communities face in eastern Kentucky would be impacted even worse if you had casino gambling in these rural areas. And I just can't, without the people having a voice in that, Randy, go to Frankfort and vote my values over the values of the people.
Right. What about gun control?
I'm an NRA Life member, and again, unlike my opponent, I would have sponsored the Kentucky Firearms Freedom Act, which is she didn't sponsor that bill. And again, that's one issue where she says that she's pro-gun, and but when I guess when they say when the time comes down to it and the going gets tough, she's nowhere to be found. And on that issue, that's a gun rights issue. It expands the rights of gun owners in Kentucky, and I would support that bill 100%.
All right. Well, what we found out in talking with Roger is that Leslie Combs, no matter what she says, is a party follower. She will do what Greg Stumbo and the Democrats tell her to do, whether it is to the interest of the people of the mountains or not. It's just whatever they want to do, she's a follower. That's why Co-Fed Families is endorsing Roger Ford for State Representative of the 94th District in Pike County. Thank you for watching, and Roger, good luck to you.
I appreciate it, Randy, and appreciate the endorsement.
All right, it's time to get out there and get to work for Roger Ford.